Hi guys, and welcome to A Dog's Soul. Today we're going to talk about how to teach a dog or puppy to take treats gently out of your hand. I'm Anita, I'm a professional dog trainer. I show you how to build a trusting relationship with your dog to overcome fear and reactivity and have a good time together again. And if you haven't already, don't forget to like and subscribe. And now, stay tuned and have fun. Alright, so this is a topic that is coming up pretty regularly, especially in young dogs, and I'm gonna give you very easy techniques to stop that behavior, that snapping, biting, jumping at your hand immediately. But first, I think we have to look at why this is happening anyway. Because only if we know what our dogs get out of it or why they are doing that, we can stop it sustainably, alright? Because otherwise we would just scratch on the surface and we would never get to the roots of the problem, and therefore we cannot have sustainable solutions, okay? So why are dogs getting snappy when it comes to treats? It has to do with a heightened arousal level. So the dog gets too excited. It can be that the dog is already excited and then you offer a treat and he just snatches it out of your hand, and if you're lucky, all the fingers are on your hand after that. If you're not, the dog might even bite your fingers because the bite inhibition is just not working very well if the arousal level or the excitement level is too high, and the dog can't really control himself because he's just in a little frenzy, right? And sometimes this also happens when the dog isn't used to getting treats, so you just started working with treats, and the treat itself is very arousing for the dog, okay? So if we look at those two different reasons behind the behavior, we can already work in two different directions. Because if the arousal level is just connected to the treat, you can try offering very boring treats in the beginning. So you just offer your dog his regular food and you watch out for him being hungry. So again, of course, if the dog is hungry, food will increase the excitement level. So we be very careful to feed the dog with a little distance to the training session so that he doesn't get any stomach issues, but he also doesn't feel hungry or that hungry, alright? So we have a well-fed dog and we use the regular dog food so that it is not too exciting for the dog. When we are dealing with a dog who has an overall increased arousal level, for example, it happens with youngsters when they were doing a little bit too much as puppies or even as youngsters. And sometimes it also happens for adult dogs who have a very intense schedule, so they don't get to sleep and rest enough, and so they are a little crazy. Okay, it's the same thing for us. If we are tired, we get a little crazy. And there are also a bunch of other reasons why the arousal level overall can be too high. Of course, one of them is medical issues. So if there are, for example, any kind of joint issues or stomach ache, headaches. Headaches are very, very hard to diagnose and for us to see. Issues with the teeth, sore muscles. It can be as easy as sore muscles. If you have been sore yourself very badly before, you know that you feel really different than usual, and that can lead to a high arousal level, okay? For our dogs as well. So This can also be a reason. It could also be that the dog is not used to this environment, so the environment itself is very, very exciting. Or there are distractions in the environment that are very exciting. For example, if you have a dog who is very interested in predatory behavior, so he likes to chase after stuff, or he likes to dig up stuff or whatever, and you're in a very wildlife heavy area, it can lead to a higher arousal level. Or if you have a dog who is very excited by other dogs and you are close to a dog park and everything smells of dog, even if you cannot see any other dogs, but it smells very intensely of them, that can also lead to a higher arousal level. So we have a lot of different things that can lead to a higher arousal level, and if we have a dog like that, we should watch out for this arousal level. So we should try to get the arousal level down, and then we have automatically more bite inhibition and a more carefully eating dog. Okay? And again, there are so many different things to decrease the arousal level and get more rest in, and that's a little too much for today's show. But check out the YouTube channel. It's linked in the show notes. Or if you're watching on YouTube, then just check the channel. We have a video on how to bring more calmness to an excited dog outside. That could be helpful in this case. But for now, I just want to encourage you to try and calm your dog down overall and then see what happens. Maybe it's not even necessary to work on the biting itself. And of course, we need something to do until then, because it's a process and it takes a little time for the dog to calm down and get that excitement level down. So, as for the practical tips, what you can do if you have a very snappy dog, you can start with throwing the treats on the ground. So, you put your hand in your treat pouch, fist closed, take it out of your treat pouch, fist closed. This is very important because some dogs already snap at the hand when it's moving out of the treat pouch. And if you have the fist closed, you're not gonna get hurt as badly, okay? Or at all. It depends on the dog, of course. And you let the treat just fall to the ground, and the dog will very quickly learn that treats are now given on the ground. And what you can do as well is that you offer the treat in your flat hand, fixating it with your thumb. So most people use 2 fingers to give the treat to the dog, and this is alright for a gentle dog. But if you have a dog who is a little bit snappy, that can hurt very quickly. So offer the treat in your hand and make your hand flat and just fixate it with your thumb. And take the thumb away, of course, as soon as the dog is at your hand. And if you have a dog who is excited by the treats, you can start working at home. If you want to work on the snappiness in itself, I would definitely start at home, because the excitement level will not be as high as in a very enriching environment. All right? And also, you don't have that many distractions, so you can really focus on teaching your dog to take treats gently. And if your dog is already participating and he knows, okay, treats on the ground are fine, and also, as long as your fist is closed, he has no chance of getting the treat. So if he's trying to come at your hand, it doesn't even have to be snap at your hand, but as soon as the mouth moves towards the closed fist, I will not open it. Only if the dog gives me a little bit more space. That can be anything. It can just be hesitating for a second, okay? then I will open my hand. And in the beginning, it's often easier to start with the hand close to the ground, especially when you did the ground feeding first, because it is a longer way for the dog's nose to the ground than just towards your hand, which is at the same level as the nose. And when our dogs stretch the neck, and they do that automatically when they are putting the nose to the ground, it's a little bit relaxing. So this is also helping us, okay? And I would not do any kind of impulse control games that are actually not useful. What do I mean by that? There are so many videos out there of people putting treats on their dog's paws or nose and waiting really long for them to take it only on cue, or waiting in front of the food bowl and stuff like that. This is something that is not necessary, and it takes up a lot of impulse control. And impulse control is not endless. There is only so much impulse control a dog has over the stretch of a day, and it can only be reloaded while sleeping or resting. And that's why I don't use up impulse control where I don't need it. Also, dogs cannot generalize that. So if a dog can wait to take a treat on his paw for half an hour, it does not mean that he can wait for a cue before he runs after any kind of wildlife, or before he escalates on leash because he sees another dog. It's not happening. It's not the same thing for the dog. And that's why these things are completely useless. And if you have a dog who is already struggling with bite inhibition or taking treats gently, I would not use up impulse control for useless stuff, right? And there is another reason, and that's every one of these little tricks is stressful. When you imagine you want something real bad and you have it right in front of your nose and somebody says, wait, like your paycheck. Imagine somebody holding your paycheck in front of your nose, and you need to pay your rent, and it's due today, and you try to get to that paycheck, but somebody pulls it away every single time and tells you, wait. Would you be more relaxed, or would you be more aroused? It's the same thing for our dogs. And when we are dealing with snappy behavior, we need less arousal level, not more. So we have to get rid of anything that increases our arousal level too much and unnecessarily. All right? And if you combine the two, or just work on the decrease of the excitement level overall in the beginning, you will see amazing results. Okay? That's it. I would love for you to hit the subscribe button or the plus in Apple Podcast. And if you haven't already, review the show and send me a picture of it on Instagram. I would love to read those. I read every single one of them, and it helps other dog moms who want to help their pup get a little insight into their dogs. So thank you so much for listening, for subscribing, for reviewing, and I wish you an amazing time with your dog. Have fun. Until next time. Bye.